If you're a college student, whether it's undergrad or graduate, do not send your next email without watching this video. Hey everybody, this is Dr. Rico with Faithful Scholar, where we bring you the best tips, resources, and tools to help you get it done better, cheaper, and faster. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through a couple examples of really bad emails and really talk about some of the reasons why your email may be going into the inbox of doom or maybe getting delayed and you're not getting the responses when you need them most. So let's get right to it. I'm going to show some examples, and these are examples again that I've received as an instructor or as an advisor, and I'll highlight some of the pitfalls here, right? This first one is one that I received as a professor, and right off the bat, one of the number one reasons why emails end up into the inbox of doom is because they don't have a subject line, right? If there's no subject line, one of the number one things that happens is either the recipient thinks that it's spam and it gets deleted, or whatever email platform they're using may think that it's spam and it goes into a folder. And by the time that we get to it, it's too late, right? You write these emails, you want an immediate response. And if it gets lost in a folder, it may be a day or two before we even acknowledge that it's there. So don't fall into that pitfall. Number two is you don't identify yourself, right? With email communication, especially if you're not using your student email, which you should be using your student email in college communication, we may not know who this is, right? And so if you look here, there is no identifying information. It just says, can I get the notes from class today? First of all, we get hundreds of emails, and not to say that you're not important, right? You absolutely are. And if we don't know who is asking for these notes, we may not know who to send it to. And again, especially if you're not using your student email, if you're just using a Gmail. And I've gotten all kinds of creatives. That could be a whole nother video of what are unprofessional Gmail or email accounts. So, but anyway, for this purpose, right? Can I get the notes? Doesn't have proper grammar, no punctuation. So you want to make sure that your email is professional, that it's actually communicating something and it's doing so in a professional manner. Let me give you another example, right? This is one that I got as an academic advisor. Here, again, you'll see no subject line, no identifier. One of the best things that you can do to make sure that your emails get answered better and faster is include your student ID, right? Make it easier for the person who's receiving this email to identify who you are, what you need, and how you need to get that information, right? When we have that identifying information like your ID number and your first and last name, that allows us to find your records faster and be able to answer you faster. Again, that subject line, when you have a subject line like requesting graduation information, right? When I see that, I automatically know, okay, this has to be somebody on my advising load. And then I go in, who is this? Fantastic. They included their ID. I can bring up their file and give you that information right away. I can send you a copy of your program plan or your degree audit, whatever your institution calls it, and I can tell you when you're going to graduate, right? This one's a little bit better. It's professional, it has punctuation, but it's still missing some of those other elements. So now let's look at a good example. This next example is clear, concise, and competent. Those are the 3 C's that I always promote when you're writing a professional email, when you're writing to your professors, your advisors, or any support staff on your campus, right? You want to be clear. What is your ask? You want to be concise. Don't make it so wordy that it's so much information and it gets lost, right? Make concise. And you want to be competent. You want to sound professional, like you know what you're doing. Maybe even look into it a little bit before you ask so that you can provide some of those hints to say, hey, I've looked at this and I still have this question, right? So let's look at this example here. It's to a professor, right? And the subject line, request for meeting during office hours, right? So you're competent. You're expressing that you know there's office hours and you're making a clear request. So when this pops up in my inbox, I know exactly what it is this person needs and when they're wanting to meet. Now, My next question is, who is this? And you can see in this email, it says best and your name. I would also recommend include your student ID or the program or the degree that you're doing right under there. Best is good. You can do kind regards or warm regards. That's a little more formal, but best is fine in college. Now at the top, hello, doctor or professor, and then the last name. Again, you want to make sure that you're being professional when you're addressing your faculty. And then you go, I hope this email finds you well. That's one way you can start it, just a warm salutation to build that relationship. But going forward, if this becomes a thread, you don't have to continue to say hello or hi and add those formalities in the beginning. Now it's a conversation that's going. Now, if this email goes a few days and then you engage again, you might start again with a hello and then go on. Right. The next section here is I am a student in your the specific class and I'm writing to request a meeting with you during your office hours. See, it is clear. It's clear who you are, it's clear what course you're in and what you need. Then you can have another little section where you talk about a particular question you have or discussion points. Or, and I highly encourage you to do this, you can actually ask questions using a bullet list. Now, this is perfect because sometimes the questions that you have don't require meeting with us. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't want to meet with you. I'm happy to meet with students and have coffee and talk life. And I know that you're busy. You have other priorities, other time consuming commitments. And so if I can answer questions in an email, just boom, 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 and help you move so you can get done better, cheaper, faster, then I would love to do that. That's a great strategy too. If you don't have time, you can ask them in bullets. And if you still want to meet, you can follow up with, if possible, right? Or maybe remove that if you want to be a bit more assertive. I would like to meet with you at your earliest convenience. That's a great way of saying, hey, this is important. Instead of, I need to meet with you ASAP, at your earliest convenience communicates that this is important, that there is urgency in it, but it's also respectful, right? During your scheduled office hours. And you can close with something like, thank you for your time and consideration, or thank you, I look forward to meeting with you. And again, that best and identify yourself. As you can see here, all the good elements are there. You're clear, concise, and competent. Now, if you want to get it done even better, cheaper, and faster, I have templates for you. You can go over to Faithful Scholar and check out this bundle template that I've created for everything from meeting with your professors, meeting with students for group work, contacting financial services, career services, requesting letter recommendation, and many, many more areas in higher education. And these are just bundles with email templates that you can just copy, paste, and fill in the blanks to get the absolute best response. The example that I shared earlier is in this bundle and can be really helpful to getting the responses you need in a timely manner. Now, get out there, get it done. But before you do, let us know in the comments below what are the ways that you've received the quickest response and what are some of the salutations that you like to use, right? Do you like best? Do you like kind regards? Let us know why. We'd love to hear.